Good morning and Happy New Year, Lunar New Year, I guess. I'm very glad that we are, not everyone, but considered quite still a big amount of people are gathered again in the similar sort of premises with a similar setting. I cannot hear quite. Oh, I see. Maybe I should take this out, yeah. Last time when we were doing the Ushnisha, the world is in a much more precarious situation. And supposedly now, things are getting better. I hope that this new year will bring a lot of contemplation on ourselves. I think that in the West they will say soul searching, because thinking ahead, planning our life ahead with a sober mind, we have been, time and again, we have been really tested and put into corner. And past year has been really, really a tough one. But, after a while, we human beings, we become relaxed, we become complacent, and then the greed and the, all that slowly comes in. I'm not even talking about the world peace and all that kind of big project. Talking simply individual life. So, and then we get entangled with all this kind of hope and fear. But with this warning and alarm, I hope that many of us will learn to live soberly from now on. Of course, for Buddhists, for practitioners, there's no better way to live soberly than practicing Dharma. But even as someone who's not necessarily, following a spiritual path, just to, watch out, watch out at our, ridiculous expectations, assumptions. There are a lot of things that we don't really have to do, but we do it. And many times it just ends up making ourselves stress. The best example is my bag. There are a lot of things, it's really heavy. There are a lot of things that is really not necessary. There's like this, for instance. I haven't even, maybe I've used only once. It's a Aesop Marrakesh intense perfume. It's just this mind of, what in case if I smell bad? It's always this what if something happens? Just so many things.
太多东西在里头。
And like this notebook, I've been carrying this almost like 5 months. It's only 2 pages I've written. Luckily, I actually don't really have a, because my life has been a vagabond, sort of traveling. So I don't really have, what a normal people could call home. I guess in Bir I have, and 80% is junk. Yes, so there are a lot of things that we do or buy or not necessary. So stuff like this, maybe we can be more contemplative and be more aware and be more sober. I have always wanted to, along with Ushnisha Vijaya, I've always wanted to do some other pujas, such as the Tara Puja, such as Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, and Tara Puja. I'm really happy that this time we managed to do it. I think we have done really on millions of Ushnisha Vijaya Dharani. And hopefully we will also do millions of the Tara praise. Tara, especially the Tara Puja is actually more simple, and really it's something that is so easy to do. Of course, this time we are doing it in a very elaborate fashion, but you can really do it at home. I try to do Tara Puja almost every day, once. And it doesn't have to be elaborated, and you don't have to have a shrine. Invite the Tara in front of you, make an offering, and also a mandala offering. And that doesn't have to really rely on the liturgy. You can just visualize. 2 times of praise to Tara, 21 praise. And then visualize you are under the Tara's palm, being protected. 3 times, 3 times of praise and 21 praise, offering, mandala. And then Tara above you, 7 times of the praise. And then Tara dissolve into you. You become inseparable with the Tara. This is you can do it easily. I've experimented this. From Shilin, if you take a subway, up to Tongshan, you finish. And with a mask on, it's good, because otherwise people will think, why are your lips moving? They will think you are mad. Tara Puja is for protection and to clear obstacles, among a lot of things. Just it is stated in the benefit of the Tara praise in the liturgy. I just want to talk a little bit about obstacles. The moment we talk about obstacles, or obstacles, we always end up thinking about the most gross, most sort of the least vicious, the most gross, like, sickness, loss of job. Actually, they are the most gross and most sort of easy to handle, actually. The most powerful obstacle is ourself going astray from the Dharma. From astray, right? Astray, like stray.
From the what?
From the Dharma. So which means loss of confidence in ourselves, loss of confidence in the, this amazing game of cause and condition. It's just amazing, because of the virus, my monks in my monasteries, almost zero, normal flu. My Japanese pharmacy, sellers, they're running out of their business, going bankrupt because nobody is buying, normal cough and flu medicine. So, we need to really have an open mind towards this incredible game of cause and condition. We don't know what is next. And most importantly, the biggest problem with us is just losing touch with our own, mind, and therefore losing control, I guess. So, to be protected from all these outer, inner, and secret obstacles, let us do the Tara Puja. And I have asked the group of people with Bella to come up with some, tune, and this is work in progress. I'm sure we will, improve as the time goes by. Okay, so I will come back and again say things, whatever comes in mind. But let us begin the puja. Since we have some time in the morning, because we are still experimenting, so we will not finish another whole sadhana this morning. I think we will. I don't think we will finish one more time this morning. So I guess I will just say whatever comes in my head. Whatever is on my phone. Okay, I'm plagiarizing something here. The Tara that can be understood cannot be a cosmic Tara. Tara that can be expressed in words cannot be the infinite Tara. Yet this Tara has to be the source of everything. Of course, I'm trying to sort of appreciate the wisdom of paradoxy here, both from India and China. This is not easy because normally we human beings are so used to think in black and white, sort of duality. no matter how much, from sutras, tantras, how much we have been taught and point out this paradoxy. For instance, today, in front of us is what we usually call green Tara, right? Green Tara. But actually, I think her real name is Khadiravani Tara. Khadiravani Tara, which sort of means, I'm translating it very loosely, it's something like the lady from the this very special forest called, it's kind of like, the forest has such a beautiful smell, supposedly. It's a big forest, and she's from that. So it's a lady from that forest, Khadiravani Tara. Singing Najtum, yeah. Tara, and related to Tara, has incredible, endless stories and tales and myths and all mixed up, so many. I actually grew up hearing all kinds of stories that were being told by my grandfather connected to Tara. The Khadiravani Tara, the green Tara, is probably the most popular. Well, what becomes popular and all of that, it's usually, how, it's like a trend. It's like once upon a time we all wore bell bottom, and then, it's a bit like this. So it's a trend, I guess. Bell bottom, the 1960s, we had this pants that has a long bell bottom. But also, the Khadiravani Tara is something to do with the peace and protection from 8 kinds of fear. And also, the Khadiravani Tara probably have become very, very revered, because it is believed that Nagarjuna bumped into her in this Khadiravan, this special forest. This forest is supposedly in South India. Probably it is. I'm not so sure, but I think it probably it is. What is it? Sandalwood. I think so. Okay. Sandalwood. Then, Saraswati, at times we almost see her as a separate deity, Saraswati, but she's actually Tara also. And again, this is another interesting thing that you might want to notice, want to note down, which is Khadiravani Tara is known to travel with 2 companions, 2 ladies, another 2 ladies. That's Marichi. I think Marichi is in Chinese, no? Marichi. And Ekajata. The other one is Ekajata. Which is, yes, Ekajati. So, and then there's a long, so many varieties of, I should not call it legend, accounts of how Tara, Avalokiteshvara, to what do you call it, to specifically help group of sentient beings, transforming himself or his tears into Tara. There's so many of that. So it will not be surprising if you tell a Tibetan tantric practitioner that Kuan Yin is a Tara. They will have no qualm, no difficulty in accepting it. So this is what I was talking about. Right at the beginning, I was plagiarizing Tao Te Ching. You have to have that spirit to understand her. If you understand her as a specific one and only that one, then you are only relating to her in one way. The Marichi and the Ekajata, supposedly her companion, or often also her attendant. And but interestingly, independently, Ekajata and Marichi is also known many times as a Tara. Yeah, for the ordinary people's mind, when the secretary arrives, you will only think the secretary has arrived. The boss is not there, director is not there. But it's not really like that. Okay. Then of course, Gurukula, or popularly known as Gurukule, that is very much Tara. And then there's a Sita Tara, which is the white Tara. White Tara. And then, each of these Tara sort of specifically known for specific blessings and activities. And then one of them is Kali. I've already mentioned the Kali, but Ekajata, but Kali also very much one of the Tara. Here is something quite interesting, like a Nalanda scholars in the past. Tara is one of their favorite guardian deity. I don't know. You might, of course, there's no way to know, but you may find Tara statue from Nalanda, ancient Tara statue, probably more, if not equal to Manjushri. She's, bestowing basically wisdom and sort of a guidance. Yeah, I think known for guidance. Known very swift, quick in answering, I guess. And then, of course, there's the Agra Tara, which is like the black Tara, associated with the power. And then forms. Although for most of us, we are kind of used to thinking Tara as a gentle, motherly, sisterly, but it's not always like that. That some form of the Tara is so wrathful that her blinking of her eyes can sort of blind the obstacles, animals, just that sort of the light of her eyes. Thousands of arms, thousands of heads, thousands of eyes, all kinds of forms. But anyway, what you need to know is, as I said right at the beginning, not to get too fixated that fixated towards that this is only that, nothing else. But for most of the ordinary people, since we don't have that kind of capacity to accept everything in one taste, we just don't have the capacity to accept, a lady with one face and a lady with 1,000 faces, completely seeing them as equal. We just don't have that kind of capacity. So we approach from one angle, so to speak. And then usually when we approach, we are always approaching triggered by our specific wants and needs and wish. So most of us probably we are longing for some sort of a peace, some sort of a protection. So I guess we are preferring lady from the sandalwood forest. If you are specifically, approaching her with a wish to strengthen your life force, then Sita Tara, White Tara. And similarly, if you feel like wanting to increase your prosperity, then yellow. And if you are in fear of war, there is one Tara that is like not only the protector of the war, but she kind of slays the enemy. And even in one sitting here, it's not like we are stuck with a Kadaravani Tara today, within one sitting here. You could, we could think that she is the black, she is green, everything, however you want. Yeah, but for most of us it's too tiring. Just do one is better. Chogyul, this is a treasure teaching by Chogyul Lingpa, the specific that what we are doing. But similar, exactly similar, exists in the many tantra, like the Tara Tantra. Many Tara practice comes under the sort of a Kriya and a Charya Tantra. So some sort of a discipline such as not to take meat and stuff like that is required. So if possible, if you are coming back this afternoon, maybe keep yourself as a vegetarian, maybe no alcohol also. And if possible, maybe not play games today. Like gambling. I think after 5 o'clock you can do whatever you like. Okay, so this, what I've just been telling you, is a Tara. I've been talking about the Tara form, the lady, green, yellow, all that kind of. If you are much more ambitious and you want to be more, you want to be more connected to higher Tara, so to speak, then you should connect to seed syllables like tam, for instance.
Yeah, tam.
Letter tam, seed syllable in whatever you can imagine, in Chinese, in Sanskrit, in Tibetan, whatever. Because you see, after all, the outer form of the Tara, the blue, the green, white, lotus, all that is a human projection. So much bound by culture and tradition and customs and one should try to sort of go beyond that. So, of course, even the mantra, there's the dharani, a very long one. And then there's the mantra, like Om Tare Tutare Ture Swaha. And then the 6 syllable, tam. All you could be chanting is chanting or visualizing or getting acquainted with is just letter tam. Many chant, like Om. Tara practitioners could be chanting tam. So, 6 syllable, again, if you really analyze, 6 syllable is not really limited by things that is written, the shape of the letter that we have, different language, Chinese, English, Tibetan. This is just almost like a reminder, symbol. More refined and more, more subtle level of the letter Tara is the sound and the sound and the mind, the consciousness, tam. Like today, we could have a tam written on something and put it above where the statue is. It's perfectly fine. Actually, even more closer. But, for the outer world, they will not be able to accept it, conceive it as a... Okay. Now, of course, one should try to go beyond that. Not just a form Tara, like a green, white, yellow. Not just a letter Tara, but even beyond that. And that is none other than this very moment cognizance that we have. We are not talking about some cognizance someone has. We are not talking about a cognizance of a higher being. This, your own cognizance, this unfabricated, unaltered, naked mind. This is Tara. And this is neither blue, nor green, nor lady, nor man, nothing. Well, you cannot also say nothing, as I recited right at the beginning. Source of everything. And that we have it all the time. But we forget it all the time. So, sadhana that we do, sadhana, the purpose of sadhana is to really not forget this, to remind this again and again. And this is why we do all this singing, flowers. Yes. And those things really help you to not go astray from this basic Tara. And even if you, do it for just one morning, that's already quite an achievement. So this is basically, the principle of the Tara practice that you should know, some of you. I'm telling you this because I also don't want you to sort of see her as some sort of a spirit that deliver us some gift, boons, This has always been a difficulty because tantric method to reach the, needs and wishes and the wants and of the ordinary in a very, very ordinary way, sometimes ends up hijacking us from the basic Tara. I have a little bit of a suspicion that this deity called Matsu, probably is a Tara. I have a little suspicion. Because a lot of the things I'm hearing about her is very, very similar to an Arya, Tara form that exists in Nepal. She's the guardian deity for fisher people, right? Yeah, I can understand, compassionate beings like her don't want to give up the fisher people. So you should not prefer a lady with a beautiful smell, nice smell walking out from a beautiful forest. You should not prefer that from a lady from a, fisher waft with a fish, smell. They are one. I can almost imagine sometimes they talk to each other. Like Mathu saying to, Kandara Vanitara, hey, you. And, like Kandara Vitara says, oh, yeah, me. How is it going over there with your smell? And one of them says, I actually don't understand why human beings make such a big deal about sandalwood smell and the fish smell. And, like Mathu telling, Green Tara, yeah, but, you better pretend and, make sure that you have a nice sandalwood smell exuding all the time, because that's what they like. You just don't get carried away by non-duality. Anyway, yeah, introducing the deity is always so difficult because, I need to convince you that you should really pray to her. And yet, I should also make you not forget that she is nothing but everything. She is supposedly the source of everything, known as the mother of all the Buddhas. No question is also good. Okay.
She's asking this question for her nephew, I guess. He's 21, and this young man thinks Buddha Dharma is very good, but he's very lazy to practice it. How can he, being a lazy person, encourage other people to come to the Dharma?
Probably you or your Dharma friends may be giving this wrong impression of what practice means. I think almost always we tend to make them think that you need to sit down and chant and meditate or become a monk or nun or not eat this and that, all kinds of restrictions, and this is totally wrong. Of course, we always say that there's 84,000 methods, but then when we implement it, we always seem to implement just one. So, this, your niece, right?
Niece.
Your niece, fundamentally, her admiration to the Buddha Dharma, that need to be kept and maintained. That is the fundamental practice. And that can be done by just downloading a photo of a Buddha or something. If you like it, if you like whatever, the rest will come just naturally. After a few days of New Year, I went to someone's house and they somehow introduced me dice game. I never played dice. And that dice has three faces empty, but one face has the dots. The Chinese, I think it is.
I've never seen it.
Really? You know? Oh. You're losing your tradition.
大家失去了我们传统。There are 6 faces for a dice.
Six, right?
6, not
But
4.
yeah, right. 6. But only one face has the number. Right? So there's about 6, there's a 6 dice. Each one has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. Like that. And then you put, like, I think we put a 400 NT first. And then, I don't know, like, even this part I forgot. Anyway, it's really strange because a certain number you win. But after a while, when the money, on the board, there's a pool of money. When that money got less, then the dice number has to become less and less. So it's really interesting, actually. So what you wanted in the beginning, you really don't want, kind of game. So just generally, I just began to like that game. So when I went to shops, I asked for this dice. Actually put effort in looking for this dice. See, this is what happens when you like something. So all you need your niece is just maintain that liking. The rest doesn't matter. Oh, so you guys don't know this dice? Oh, goodness. You should keep your tradition. Is this Chinese or Taiwan?
It's maybe like the Tibetan bowl.
No, this is it's not. It's really interesting.
She said, normally when we pray for Tara with some aspirations or wish, for instance, if I'm sick and I pray for health, but what if it turns out that it's going in the opposite direction? What should I do?
Well, actually, it's in the liturgy. Something changing to be just. It's like, okay, so you pray, you aspire for what you wish, whichever it is, whatever it is. But then it says in the text that once you get that, whatever you are trying to get, may it lead to the Dharma. So I think that's the part need to be. Yeah. So you could wish to catch the bus and wait for the bus. You pray for the bus to catch the bus, but you miss the bus. But then the next bus has the driver that's a Mahasiddha. So something like this.
So 也许是像这样子的。
谢谢，这是我2个问题。
She had 2 questions. One is she started to make connection with Rinpoche from last October, the Ushishina Vijaya Puja. And after that, she bought all your books and keep on reading, even during the Chinese New Year. And she didn't want to sleep, just keep on reading. And while she reads, she cries. So her family doesn't know what happened to her. So she like to ask, as a beginner, she has received some loans and some initiations, but how should she start with Dharma practice? Where to start? And second question is, you said the teacher's disciple relationship, the most important thing is the devotion. She'd like to ask, how can she be your disciple?
Okay. I think there are many different ways to start, and you should maybe try several. If one doesn't work, the other can work. I think recently we did a very sort of introductory vipassana. Maybe that's quite quite a good thing to do. Spend a few minutes a day consistently. Then, like Ushinisha Vijaya, Dharani, or the Tara praise, whatever you feel like it on that day, you should just do that. This guru-disciple is a tantric concept. That is a little bit sort of complex. I mean, in the past, when I have taught about Guru Yoga a lot, but there was a lot of taking for granted that you guys already, you have the background of this tantric guru-disciple, guru-student philosophy. But I guess I now realize that that foundation does not exist. Those who don't have the tantric sort of, understanding. You see, in the Mahayana, up to Mahayana, there's things like master, master receiving teachings from a master. Tantric guru is, yes, master, but not just that. I don't know whether it makes sense, but tantric guru is actually this he or she is yourself. It's like when you go to the mirror, in the bathroom, what do you see there? That person, that's you, right? Not completely you, but it's your reflection. In the reflection's case, you raise your right hand, and then the reflection raises the right hand. But in this case, Guru, who is also a reflection of you yourself. In this case, when the Guru raises the right hand, you are supposed to raise right hand. You understand? That's the difference here. It's a really, if you really understand the tantric concept of Guru, it's kind of it really is like taking the rug out of your feet. Dujam Rinpoche, he said, Jangni Bechang Magu, meaning you don't have to call him from afar. You're not the guru calling the guru. I think he's making you don't have to call him from afar. But you also don't have to search in the near. He is always there. So the tantric guru and disciple is a complex. But you having this aspiration is a good thing. It means you have an affinity with the Tantra. So invest on that. Maintain it. Okay. Any more questions?
There are a few online questions. May I ask one for them? So for those who receive the loan through Zoom, does it count?
Very difficult to answer this one. It has been a very, very controversial subject. I don't want to get into this. Both sides of the camp have not convinced me enough. That's all I can say. What was other question?
Basically, she appreciates what Rinpoche had taught this morning about Tara's blessing to eliminate obstacles. She herself has, because of the health issue, she always have this feeling of unsettling and worry, anxiety. So she like to ask how to control herself, not to be too nervous and too anxious. Second thing is she practices every morning and evening, but recently she has some kind of an obstacle that sort of prevent her from doing too much practice. Although in the books she read that these kind of obstacles is best assets for practitioners, but in reality, she like to have Rinpoche's advice how to overcome this obstacle of not wanting to practice.
I appreciate everything what she said, and to be honest, right now, actually, I have been a victim. I myself is a bit of a victim of anxiety. So the only thing is just keep going on, keep on doing what you are doing. That's about all you can do. I think the breathing, like breathing exercise helps. But I think anxiety is also little to do with the chemistry. Yeah, so not just mental, mental. It's not just mental weakness. The whole environment and just everything. A practice will fluctuate up and down. That you should not worry. As the earlier question, I think the trust to the Dharma, admiration to the Dharma, that is the main thing. They say that, and I think it's true, because about 20 years ago, I had an insomnia, almost about like 2 months. I was busy painting my house whole night. Bad paintings, really bad ones. I think you should look forward to the post-anxiety, post-whatever. I think you develop, you mature so much.
She's asking this question for an online student in China, and he or she is listening right now. Mm-hmm. So he said he consider you as his root guru. So what should he do now?
Now? Learn how to play that dice. If he hasn't. Okay. Okay.
Okay. How do modern people develop bodhicitta?
Again, I will go back to really liking the Dharma and liking seeing the value of non-duality or paradoxy. I think this will then plant the seed, of bodhicitta. I think it will fan it anyway. It will really motivate you. So it's a bit like this, like in the dream you suddenly have $1 million lottery won. And it so happened that you are in some ghetto with lots of gangsters, thieves everywhere. Now this is a problem. The $1 million has become a problem. And they're all maybe $5 note. And you don't even have a bag or a truck. Then this is a problem now. It's a problem because $1 million is very precious. And you are in a very strange place. But at that time, if you somehow know this is a dream, I don't know, you might have the courage to play with the gangsters. I don't know. So see, the appreciation to that kind of non-duality need to be increased to really appreciate the bodhicitta. But for most of us, such a chance is rare. So I think if you are able, this is difficult though, if you can, trust to the Adyatara, something like this. This is why, again, it's in the literature, please bless me so that true bodhicitta will grow in me. Okay? Your question? Okay. One more. Okay, so this is just one more. Okay.
Thank you, Rinpoche, for being here.
Your question? Okay.
Okay, 我还是请 Chris 翻译好。
Her mother-in-law is 94 years old, and recently she kept telling her that she wants to become a Christian for two reasons. One is the Buddhist burial ceremony is very complicated, and secondly, she hates to burn incense and pray, all these Buddhist rituals. And so she, and then if she dies, the kids will not in the future to burn incense to her. So she is very bothered. What should she do with her mother-in-law?
Agree with her. Agree. Doesn't matter. You just do your prayers, and in the state of the bardo, Aryatara will rise as a Jesus Christ. Okay.
Her three questions. One is, you mentioned that doing practice in the subway. She'd like to ask, can she do Tara Puja, that practice in her bed before sleep, and then after finish she can just go to sleep? Is that okay?
Yes.
第一个是 okay.
Definitely. And not only that, actually she can sleep and do it. Really, I'm serious. Basically, you need to remember her. How you remember? Better remember, anytime, anywhere. Otherwise, if you time it, I'm going to remember her only there, morning, wearing a specific cloth. You will end up reducing the time of remembering her. Anytime.
Then,
okay.
Her brother has feeling that every time come to puja, she felt like she gets charged, like a battery gets charged.
Her brother,
yeah,
gets charged.
She said, "Why is it?"
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
okay.
That's good though. Yes.
And third thing is everything a blessing, even difficulties, obstacles?
Yeah, if you know how to receive it, yes. So, yeah, I think so. But keep in mind, the real blessing is understanding the truth. Yeah. The other things are just, temporary. Okay, so I think we will stop here today.
Long life prayer.
Oh, I just want to tell you, I think it's such a nice thing that we offered her the Queen's crown. What is this, Tang or?
Just ancient.
Ancient, yeah. Ancient and modern Taiwanese avant-garde, yeah. I think the Taiwanese, the organizers are becoming very, very, creative. You did this, right? You designed it, right?
My colleagues.
And the people who have really put so much effort, thank you.
而且谢谢所有这个布置会场的人。他说
Those flowers that are pasted on the wall. At first I thought, okay, now this does look like a 1960s Taiwan. You know, like the Ho Xiaoshen's film set. But now, you know, I think why not? It brings us something. It brings a really very homey feeling. Yeah, very homey feeling. I don't know, Amrita, you know, maybe in Taiwan they have this beautiful red cloth with a colorful
Flower.
what flower? What do you call it?
Taiwanese red. Taiwan Hong. Yeah, Taiwanese red.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's really nice. Probably next time when we do the Tara Puja, maybe we can, I don't know, do a little bit of Taiwanese that. So, yeah.
挂在上面。